Welcome to Inside Design with Kandrak and Cole, hosted by two nationally published Atlanta interior designers, Joanne Kandrak and Kelly Cole. These energetic women are also world travelers, charity givers, and bloggers with a wealth of information to share and stories to tell about the interior design world. Okay, now just a warning, this is going to be fun and not too serious. After all, they still do have an interior design business running at full speed.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. This is Inside Design with Kandrak and Cole, and this is Kelly. Today is episode 14, and we're going to be talking about how to run an interior design business.
So we'll give you some highlights. We're going to talk about how we jumped in feet first, our office and how we kind of run that, the software we use for our business, how we set up our office, how we built relationships with different vendors, our client process, our commitment to social media, and let's start with all the legal stuff.
So when we first decided to leave the showroom that we were working at together, and we decided we wanted to go into business, we had corporate lives in our lives, so we had a real business background. So that was really the first thing that we tackled, and we had been to, as you know from a previous show, we had been to this incubator women entrepreneurial group where we had gotten some great advice from a friend of ours, Tanya, who's one of the top electricians, actually commercial electricians in Atlanta. And she had said that basically consider yourself a boxer and you're only as good as the coaches that you have in the corner of your ring. And so the sources that you put behind you to support your business are super, super important. And that was just really great advice that she gave us.
You think about it, we can't do this all alone. So our partners, our people that we surround ourselves with, only make you better. And it was so great. We just received an amazing house review from a client we just installed a couple weeks ago. And she called out every single person that had worked, from our installer to our window treatment fabricator, the carpenter who worked on it, the installers, the movers, and just how everybody was so great. And it was nice that she recognized them as well as us, because it took a village.
Yeah. So in the beginning, we did all the yucky stuff first, but you have to lay that foundation, especially if you're going to be credible and, be the real McCoy. So the very first thing we did was we walked ourselves down to City Hall and we got our business license. And then we read a lot. Remember, I bought all these books, and we had to decide if we wanted to be an S corp or a sole LLC or how we wanted to do it. Because I had been a sole partnership or a sole proprietor when I was Kelly Cole Interiors before Joanne and I got together.
We did a little research, about that, and the S corp seemed to work best for us. And then someone else told us about getting a buy-sell agreement. This is almost like the prenup agreement where, like, if something should happen, here we are 13 years down the road and we have a lot of investments in our business and all that. And so if something should happen, if we should get divorced, which we never will, then it kind of just lays out the groundwork on how to split assets and all that kind of thing. It's a whole nother.
It's a crucial part of a business partnership.
Yeah.
So we went to an attorney and we got our buy-sell agreement, and tied to that, we got life insurance, because if one of us fell off the planet, we might not be able to proceed as Kandrak and Cole Interior Design. So we had life insurance on each other, and then we realized that we had to have liability insurance, because as we started to do larger jobs, they were asking for our certificate of insurance.
And then, and as interior designers, there's another kind of insurance that is called errors and omissions, which basically, in a nutshell, for example, we ordered a $10,000 sectional, and we went to install it into the client's home, and it wouldn't fit, or
it wouldn't fit in the door.
Something like that. So that covers us. So it wouldn't just, we wouldn't go
eat it.
Broke. Yeah.
Eating
that. And then, like any business, not just interior design, a bookkeeper and a CPA. There's a lot of details, and generally designers are not known as business people. They're a little more artsy and don't, but you have got to keep your books straight, because if you don't, you're going to lose money.
And I think a lot of the stuff we're going to talk about today applies to any small business, not just interior design. So, so kind of listen up on these kind of things. But basically, those fundamental things and they were investments, that was not cheap to do all that filing and find the attorney and get the buy-sell and pay for that life insurance and stuff. But that peace of mind that keeps us a strong business in case anything were to happen was crucial. So then we had to figure out where we were going to office. And in the beginning, we were just in our homes.
Offices. And then as a mailing address, we had a mail copy location.
Like a P.O. box.
Yeah, so packages could go there, and that became our, kind of our mailing address. But yeah, we worked out of our houses. Kelly had like the book library in her basement.
Yep.
And we did that for about 3 years.
Yeah, and then it got to the point where we were like, okay, we need to start setting up all these accounts, and I'm not going to bring a rep to my house. I mean, I guess I could, but I don't want to meet at a Starbucks. That's queer. And we were like, and it came down to the first employee.
Yeah,
we were like,
we hired
I don't want her at
somebody.
my house.
Where are we going to put this girl? So we knew that it was time to get a real office. And what was kind of, what worked to our benefit is back in 2008, I think it was, when that whole recession hit. Leasing office space was really, really hard for
the landlords.
So pricing on rent was going way, way down. And so we found a great historic building in Acworth, Georgia, and ended up, our rent was really low.
It was so ridiculous.
It was great.
It was like $1,000
we felt like
a month
such
or something.
big girls having our own office.
Yeah, but we had a coach who had told us, prepare for when the business comes. And so we always kept that in the forefront of our mind. And we took the recession. A lot of people just kind of either shut down or crawled down under. And we totally took advantage of it. We're like, we're just going to step out. And this is the time when we can get a great low rent. These landlords are desperate. Now's our time. So that was a big move for us and really smart of us too.
Yeah. So we then hired, we just had a slew of interns that came to kind of help us, but we realized after a while that we really needed somebody who was kind of dedicated, who could be there to answer the phones and be kind of like a full-time employee. Mm-hmm. So we did that, and that was a big deal, paying.
I think we'd had another coach or something that had said, people, we were like, we're killing ourselves. We can't do all this, all the grunt work and do the new business too. And
the day we looked at each other and said, that's it, we're hiring somebody. We had gone to mail copy to pick up a rug. It was like an 8 by 10. And she's holding one end, I'm holding the other end, trying to open the hatch of the back, trying to shove this rug in. And we looked at each other and said, this is bull beep.
Yeah. Bull beef. And that's when we were like, that's it. We're hiring a college kid to do all this heavy schlepping, and we're going to hire an assistant to do everything else. And I mean, what's it going to cost us if it's, $15 an hour times, part-time even? It's not going to break the bank. We just got to do it.
Yeah. It was scary, but we did it. And it was like, just do it. Just
totally do it. So that was kind of, we had the foundation. The foundation was done. We had our rent, we had our office, we had our peeps, and
then setting up our office, which we really had fun doing because we love organization. We're kind of goofy that way. So we have client binders set up, and everything was all neat and orderly. And we worked on QuickBooks and Excel for a while, and then after about 4 years, we decided to bite the bullet and go with an industry software called Studio Webware, where it takes you from the proposal to the invoice to all of the financial reports. And that has been, it's a really big learning curve, but it has really, really helped. It's for our business, so it's really been a great asset as far as how we run our operation.
Yeah. And I think for us, really, and this is probably, we're kind of OCD people anyway, but from our corporate lives and from the world of, operations and employee manual and all those things. Our office is super duper duper organized, and that's just the way it has to be. And there's no conversation about it. So if you want to come work for us and you're not super orderly and neat, then you can just turn around at the door. But it's really helped us. We just our operations are really efficient, I think, because we have a process and everybody kind of, your desk can't be trashed and your files have to be neat. And
yeah. So we've got all that in place, but okay, where do we get the business now? Like, let's get started. Well, Kelly had Kelly Cole Interiors prior to meeting me, and so she had a portfolio of clients. So we started working with some of them, but then the other part of it was manufacturers and building relationships with those people that would want to sell to us. I mean, they have high minimums. You have to be able to support purchasing from them. So we went to High Point every market, and we walked into showrooms and asked to be given an account and give us a chance, and a lot of them did. We've hooked up with a lot of artisans. We talk about our carpenter friend Mitch Minton all the time, and the girl who does our renderings is amazing. So once again, all those people we have put in place to support our business.
And I think that's the thing I'm the most proud of, that we have curated this incredible group of relationships that we could not be successful without. I mean, there is just no way. We just got back from High Point. We visited with so many of our manufacturers, and those are relationships we put a lot of time and effort into. And finding these artisans, we're constantly looking for woodworkers, craftspeople, artists, welders, electricians, so that when a client comes up with a need, we can say, yes, we can handle that for you.
It's great to be able to find people who, there are so many talented people out there, artists and whatever, who don't have the money to have a showroom or show somewhere, and so they're on Etsy. We did a really great bar, man cave kind of area, and we did this really cool bottle cap art of the American flag. And you can't go buy that. I mean, it was handmade. It was just really cool. So we are proud of the fact that we can put really neat things like that in people's homes that are just different and not everybody else has. So that takes some work. So
well, and the other thing that it took us a while and is so crucial to our business, and I'm sure this relates to other business, but for us, okay, when we order product for our clients, we are ordering direct from the manufacturers. So it cannot be delivered 95% of the time direct to the client's home. It has to be delivered to a commercial loading dock. So we have a company that receives that merchandise, they inspect it for damage, and then they store it for us because our jobs are large and we do not install until all items are in. Then when all items are in, they deliver to the install for us, bring everything in, unpack everything, and all of that. And then when we're there on install day, we have our team, which is composed of Joanne and myself and Lisa or Amy. And then we've got our installer who's there for window treatments, art, anything that's going on the wall, anything that needs to be put together. And then we also have our workroom who is delivering custom window treatments, pillows, bedding, any of the soft stuff that is part of this design. So finding all those people and
finding good ones.
And finding good ones, yeah.
You have to be able to, you're going to tell your installer, this is the date, this is the address, see you there. And not get, so where was that place again? Or, sorry, got a flat tire, not going to make it. Like, those are things that really happen. And we are just lucky that we can tell these people what they need to do, and they do it, and it's successful.
Remember we had that one delivery guy came in with like a ripped T-shirt smelling of smoke. I was so horrified. I was like, okay,
they really,
you're done. You're done with us.
Are really a reflection of you too. So the people that you have in your corner, we can't stress that enough.
And then really the biggest part of all for building relationships is our clients. And social media has helped us. We don't get too, like, I don't have my clients on my Facebook page. A few of them are, but I mean, we definitely get the call when the dog died. We get the call when a baby's born. We get, we've worked with these clients for a really long time, and they become very special to us. And it's a big deal. It's a big deal for these relationships to just stay with us and grow our business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if a new person, for example, a new person is just looking for an interior designer, and they most of the time will go online. We are out there pretty much. We're on all the basic Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and all those. So they can find us that way. They can also find us, like we talked about last week, if they are Googling interior designers in Atlanta. And then maybe a blog we wrote will come up. So we do come up. Our biggest way of getting clients is through Houzz, HOUZZ.com. We have 51 5-star reviews. I'm very, very proud to say. And it gives people a chance to look at our work, look at the fact that 51 people have hired us and were able to say that they gave us 5 stars. So that's how we get most of our clients, but they're not always a great fit. So we have Amy in our office who qualifies them and asks a few questions. And
that would be one piece of advice I would say for any small business is have a great frontline person. Have that person whose customer service skills are amazing. She changed her title on her email on her own to happiness ambassador, which we just thought was hilarious because it's so appropriate. And so she really qualifies all of our clients. Can you imagine if Joanne and I were the ones answering the phone every day and spending an hour on the phone with prospects and then nothing happened? I wouldn't get anything done. Yeah. So she does a great job of telling us, okay, this is a good one for these reasons. This one, I feel red flags.
And she has to explain our process, which goes from the consultation to the contract, the proposal. So she explains everything to them as well. So they're both kind of interviewing each other.
Yeah.
And want to make sure that it's a good fit.
So once Amy determines that this is a good client, she will try to set up the consultation right on the spot if she can. Our calendar is crazy wonky, but she, if not, we'll call the client right back and we set up a consultation. Now for us, we charge for our consultations because it's a working meeting. We get a lot done during our consultations.
It could take
they take time.
A couple hours to get to one place to another here in this
Atlanta,
lovely Atlanta traffic. So yeah, it's not just a meet and greet. We really measure, take photos. It's a working consultation.
We spend a lot of time building that rapport because we have to go back and put together a well thought out, detailed design proposal, which is our basically our contract with the client that shows exactly what we're going to do per their request. And there's lots of personal stuff in there that they've noted that we reiterate back so that they know we heard them. And we personally have a flat design fee the majority of the time for renovations and new builds that are kind of fluid and changing, and it's a never-ending process. We might do half flat fee and half hourly, but that's all in that contract.
And that's the thing where we're walking around the home and they'll say, well, I'd like to do this, I'd like to do that. We all have all these things we want to do. And then when we go ahead and put it down on paper and put it in front of them, it's a great way because communication to me is the most important thing in any business, really. There's no surprises. And so they'll look back at that and say, I put down that I wanted, hardwoods in my bedroom, but we've talked about it and I really don't. So we changed that. So it gives them a chance to listen back to what they said and to kind of tailor it to what they really want. And then a lot of times, what needs to be done may cost more than what so we try to help them to get the most bang for their buck and kind of steer them in the right direction. This
is a great also time where we weed out maybe some clients that aren't a good fit. So they might see that design fee and see the scope of work and go, oh, we bit off more than we could chew, or we're not ready for this level of design, or whatever. And we're fine with that. I mean, if you're not willing to, we have a certain level of design established and a certain fee, and it's okay if it doesn't work for you. But once the clients sign that proposal, we collect our design fee up front, and we get to work doing all of the designs. So everything from lamps, rugs, accessories, custom furniture, custom art, I mean, you name it.
And then this beautiful software. So we then feed all of this information to Amy and Lisa in the office, and they put it into Studio Webware, which then creates the budget, the proposal, actually line by line, one sofa, pillows, lamps, rug, and gives you the total, including shipping and tax, bottom line. And people love that because
the guys especially, they just go to the bottom line.
They just look at that bottom number. And there's like, no surprise.
Eyes up, talk to me.
No surprises. This is what it's going to cost. It's the real deal. There's no hidden, we're going to come back and say, we need to add this.
Yeah.
No, it's soup to nuts, beginning to end. So,
and during that day when we're presenting the budget, we're also showing 16 by 20 colored hand-drawn renderings of each pertinent space. And we've got everything in our office and our conference room up on the big screen. And so we're going through each individual item, the cost of each individual item, and how it plays into that rendering.
And then we'll have samples, fabrics for them to, feel and touch, and wood samples and all that. And then we do this presentation in our office, and that gives us some credibility too. They see what our office looks like. They see all of the samples and things that we have access to. So it just makes us look a little better that day too.
And all these things matter. Mm-hmm. I mean, again, I keep talking about other small businesses, but I think all these things matter, from the presentation and how your office is run and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's all a reflection. So then on presentation day, 9 times out of 10, they will write the check up front, and then we go and start placing all those orders through that wonderful software. And yes,
everybody, our clients pay 100% in full upfront. We are not a bank, and we are going to place these orders the second they walk out the door. So that's how it goes, and it's worked terrific.
And then all of this product goes to our receiving warehouse and gets checked for any damages. Then we have a pile for that particular client. Once everything comes in, we go ahead and schedule the install, and that's where we have to round up our window treatment fabricator, our installers, all of those people, and then we install in one day. It's like the extreme home makeover. It's so great. We ask the clients to not be present,
except when we do a whole house. Then that's like 2 or 3 days.
It takes a little longer, but. So that's kind
but all at once install. Yeah, there's no. Yeah. I'll bring a lamp.
Yeah,
and then I'll bring the window treatments. And then
it's from 0 to 100. That's how it is.
Yep. So that's kind of the rundown. The other thing, because we're running out of time, that I will mention real quickly for all businesses is our commitment to social media. If you are a small business out there and you do not have a website and you are not on social media, you need to make this a number one priority. We would not be where we are today without the quality of our website that we've redesigned 3 times in 13 years, by the way. We keep making it better and better and better.
Our website, of course, you have to have a great website. And if you're an interior designer, do whatever you can to get the best photography, because I'd rather see 3 beautiful images than like 10 so-so images, especially in our business where it's so visual. It needs to be really beautiful.
Yeah. So, and pick one. If you're overwhelmed, pick one piece of social media that might work best, because they all have different audiences and they all have different purposes. So whatever interaction is best for your company, just at least do one and do it well. We do them all because they really all serve us in different ways. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest are really our main. Yeah. And of course, maintaining our website, keeping it fresh, and of course the podcast, which is our new venture that has really helped us to reach out to even a wider global audience.
Yeah. Somebody in the Netherlands listened to us, I noticed.
Oh, that's so cool.
So if you're out there listening, thank you.
Yeah, and we'll get on a plane. Hey, we do not need to stay in Atlanta, people, so call us.
Okay, so it's time for our quote to end the podcast, and I thought it was very appropriate. It's called... it's never lose sight of the fact that the most important yardstick of your success will be how you treat other people, your family, your friends, and coworkers, and even strangers you meet along the way. And that is from Barbara Bush. May she rest,
Rest in peace. Love her.
It's true. I love that I see a lot of things that say be kind. I know my granddaughter, who's 8 years old, they talk about kindness a lot in school. So
It's helped us for sure.
Think about it. Be kind.
Yeah. So we just got back from the High Point Furniture Market. And then I don't know what drug we were on, but we scheduled an install for the very next day when we got back. So we're talking to you right now, like with our eyes, crossing because we're so exhausted. But the good news of that is that we're going to bring you lots of great information about everything we learned at market for our next episode.
Everybody wants to know what's the latest. What did you see? And there's about 3 major things that I can say that I noticed in almost every showroom.
Yeah.
That you're going to, and the thing is, the things that we see here in April, a lot of these products won't come out into the marketplace until the fall.
Right.
So we're
giving you
ahead,
really the skinny.
The way ahead of the trends here.
All right. Well, wow, that went fast. Woo! Okay. Well, thank you for listening, everybody. Check us out at www.candrack-cole.com, and you can follow us all the way from there. So have a great day.
Thank you.
Join Joanne and Kelly weekly for a lively conversation about trends, travels to industry events, current design projects, the good, the bad, and the ugly, do's and don'ts, product recommendations, and more. Be sure to follow the fun on Facebook. They're on Instagram at Candrack-Cole, and of course, you've got to visit them online at candrack-cole.com for more information.